city parking, weekend gear, everyday space, always forward with Kia.
I need a car that can handle two very different things. A parking spot in the inner Richmond and all the stuff I somehow carry around like I'm leaving town forever. My Kia Seltos fits the city, but still has room for my dog, my work bag, groceries from Clement Street, and the hiking gear I forgot was in the back. It's compact where I need it and roomy where it counts.
Kia has a vehicle built for the way your life actually moves. Find your way forward at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Secrets to success? No thanks. I'm Sally Christensen, and this is Work Friends, a podcast from Argent, a women's workwear brand. I sit down with the most remarkable women we know to share upfront and unfiltered career stories, the good, the bad, and the unapologetically ambitious. Because when you're among work friends, nothing's off the table. Listen and follow on all podcast platforms and subscribe to the Argent YouTube channel for video episodes. Plus, follow us on Instagram at Argent for all the latest.
Brews and Banter.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Roman.
Well, we have an interesting guest today, and it's kind of
Already
happened
interesting, yeah.
almost spontaneously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were prepared, but we're a day early.
Well, you stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like how
I thought I was coming tomorrow, so I'm usually really prepped, so we're just gonna roll.
On the phone, you're like, I'm in town. Let's go. Let's do this.
I was in Beeville for like a fundraiser for a
Yeah.
can. I'm like, yeah, I'm
Perfect.
7 minutes away. Let's go.
Where were you again?
What was it? Hickory Hill or something?
Oh, on
There was
31
like,
there?
Oh, the golf
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was. So
See,
I
we
just
could have
happened
come
to be
here.
Well, let's cheers, and then you can introduce.
Cheers. Thanks for having me to new friendships.
Absolutely.
Friendship.
Already best friends,
Absolutely.
except you got wine.
I knew you guys were going to judge me for it. That's why I was going to
No,
have
no,
beer,
no.
but
No, you asked if our viewers would judge you, and I said no. But we, on the other hand, I'm just
it is a Brews podcast, but you know what? I'm going to drink what I would like to drink.
Whatever you
White
like.
wine, baby.
Whatever
We're from
you
the
like.
Finger Lakes, you know?
We want
There you
people
go.
to be themselves here, except for Roman. Nobody likes that.
Such an asshole.
So introduce yourself. Yes,
Kaylee,
please.
go ahead.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm Kailee Buller. I was born and raised in Auburn, New York. My dad was a corrections officer for 41 years, retired last year. My mom, a nurse, so I'm the first in my family to graduate with a 4-year degree. I went to Syracuse University for a year, couldn't afford it, so transferred back home to Cayuga Community College and then went to Buffalo, SUNY Buffalo. And then I graduated in 2011 after the financial crisis, and there were no jobs here. So like many people my age, I'm 37, I moved away, went to D.C., and had no connections, knew no one, and got a job right out of college working on tax and fiscal policy. And so I nerded out on that, made $28,000 a year back, could barely pay my loans, could barely pay my car payment, and just networked like crazy and worked my way up in DC. So I've been there since February 20th when I resigned from my job. I most recently was the chief of staff to the Cabinet Secretary, Brooke Rollins.
USDA.
USDA.
Yeah, see, I know shit, right?
USDA.
I'm not just a pretty face, guys.
Yeah, and it's a 100,000 person, $200 billion entity, and so I was the secretary's right hand, oversaw the entire operation, her strategy, her key advisor. Had a lot of fun opportunities with other cabinet members, Oval Office things, and before that, I was in the first Trump administration. I was at USDA as the number 4. And then when President Biden won the election in 2020, I went to, he was our president, so we can't just disregard that. But when I was the president CEO of 2 food and agriculture industry associations. And then when Trump won, I went back and to help kind of bring the team together and get going because I had so much knowledge. So I've had a really incredible career, food, agriculture, energy, tax policy. And I've watched Central New York get left behind. I was born and raised here. My family struggles. And I wanted to come back and run in this seat because Central New York's being left behind. I'm in D.C. I'm in the rooms. And our current congressman isn't really delivering. He's one of the most ineffective members of Congress. And we can get to that. But this area deserves representation. I've been a CEO. I've been a lobbyist. I've been at the top, at the highest ranks of government. And so I don't think we've had a representative serve this area as qualified as me.
Are we able to say who your opponent is?
Yeah. I don't know why not.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I'm just talking from your point
Yeah,
of view.
so I'm running against John Mannion, and for Congress, New York 22 encompasses all of Onondaga, all of Madison County, half of Oneida, half of Cortland, and half of Cayuga.
Okay.
Yep. And then I have 3 kids who are 5, 3, and 2, and an incredible husband who deals with me through all these crazy jobs. And he's from Cincinnati, and he's now Bernie, and he's a New Yorker.
OH.
He's thriving. OHIO.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right.
So 2011, you moved out of Auburn to DC?
Yes, I moved out of New York to DC, and I didn't return until recently.
And did you meet your husband
In
DC?
at a bar in DC.
Oh, what kind of bar?
It was actually a jazz bar just because there weren't a lot of lines to get
Yeah.
drinks there. So we happened to meet there. I put my business card in his pocket, like a very quintessential DC thing. And then he emailed my work email. Would you like to get business cocktails?
Wait, did you like walk by and like threw it in his pocket or?
No, we were just talking. And I just like slipped it in his jacket, very
nice.
slick. It was a very DC thing. And then he emailed me and I'm like, who is that?
I don't remember
who that guy was.
I don't remember what street this was on, but I was in DC one year and we were bar hopping there and it was just crowded. It was crazy. I know that it was not too far away from like a Tyson Mall.
Oh, then that's not DC. That's Virginia.
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with you, Roman?
No, hold on. But
It
it
might have
was
been Clarendon. It could have been. Because like we lived in DC for over a decade. Then we moved to Virginia once we had kids.
Mhm.
But I would say like 14th and U area are like very popping off there. Georgetown in terms of in DC. Clarendon, Ballston. It depends on what year it was. But Tyson's
Ballston Spa.
Ballston area. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure. Over by Tyson's, there's some areas,
Yeah.
but I've never really gone
it
up
was
there.
it was crazy. It was super crowded,
Mhm.
and I was like, I hope I make it out of here alive.
You did.
I did.
You're here.
Damn, I could have had another host.
But you two are so great together. We would never wish that on Roman.
No, we don't
Thank
wish
you.
that on Roman.
So when you moved to DC, how did you get into agriculture part of it?
Yeah, so when I started in tax and fiscal policy, I was really educating on state policies, which is very ironic because New York is the least competitive state in the entire nation. Highest taxes, one of the least competitive, some of the highest energy costs. And when I moved in 2011, I helped write this book called Rich States, Poor States. And New York in 2011 was the worst state in the nation. And they're like, people are going to vote with their feet. We've lost congressional seats, all that. So I traveled around the states. And then I was looking for a real job that paid more money. So I got this job in the grocery industry running tax policy because tax policy was going through Congress at the time. And so they hired me for there. And then when tax reform didn't happen, I started diving into food, agriculture. And this is obviously a very agriculture heavy area, right? There's a lot of dairy. There's a lot of specialty crops. So, I grew up going to the apple orchards and, pumpkin patches and farms. And you didn't really appreciate it until you left and realized what a farm heavy area it was. But then I just started I was young and hungry and was like, hey, I'll do it. Whenever someone's like, hey, do you want to work on food stamps? I'm like, I'll do it. Do you want to work on swipe fees? I'll do it. Do you want to work on dietary guidelines, farm bill? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I was just like ready to go. I always said yes to everything because I just wanted to learn. I wanted to immerse myself, like not coming from a lot. I wanted to, make something of myself and just any opportunity I could have to learn, I just did.
Yeah.
So I just have all these weird things that I know that are now serving me very well. Like I know healthcare well, I know energy well, I know taxes, I know food policy.
All at 37 years old, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm 37,
This
yeah.
experience, right?
Yeah.
Central New York is actually the biggest agriculture provider is milk,
Dairy.
dairy.
Yeah.
Um,
We're the 5th or 7th biggest producer in the whole U.S.
And people don't know that, right?
yeah.
That's not like widely known because people think New York City. Every time I mention New York, they think New York City. You don't have an accent. I'm like, I'm fucking 6 hours away from there, right?
Exactly.
Right.
They couldn't be more different. New York City, we're just complete opposites in terms of, and we're subsidizing a lot of what they're doing. We take their trash. We, subsidize their living down there.
and why is everyone's upstate line is in different location?
I always say we're in central New York because
That's
we
what
are
I
right in
say,
the heart
central.
of it. But if you're in New York City, you just say, oh, upstate. Those
That's right.
upstate people, just like Kathy Hochul
It's like
thinks we lack sophistication here.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
they're backhanding us, like whatever.
100%.
It's like
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing really I think that's good is she put a moratorium on data centers.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, I think, because they're trying to put one here, right? You know that?
Yeah. I mean, the thing with data centers, I think the moratorium is good, but I don't like mandates or bans. Like, I think that we should be open to opportunities and it's a case-by-case basis, community by community. We want to make sure that we're getting the most out of it as we can as a community, like making them pay for the water, making them pay for the electricity use, making sure it's a net benefit for our community and we're getting some kind of incentive. What happened with wind and solar is Albany just decided you're going to take it here and the communities don't want it.
And what a
All
shit
the
show that
stores-
turned out to. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. All the stars need to align for a data center. So I think the moratorium allows us to pause, take a breath, do our research. But I'd hate to see Pennsylvania or someone else get some of these opportunities if we can do it. But that being said, if communities don't want it, they shouldn't have it in the community.
I heard something about a moratorium. So maybe you can clarify. So you can't do it, right? It's
1 year, yeah.
but it can be lifted at any time. So is that right?
I'd have to read the policy.
I think
but that's probably. I mean, if it's a moratorium, I'm sure that they probably could.
And that's kind of the bitch people have is like, okay, it's great, you think it's awesome, but then people will kind of slow down their research or opposition, thinking like, you got a year to do it, and then they lift it, and then it gets passed.
Yeah, and then that allows you to cozy up to one or two companies that you're working on behind the scenes, which is what we don't want to happen.
That's right. Yeah.
The community, if you're not if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, right? And so we can't be in a situation that we just get told a data center is coming. Like the community has to be involved. It impacts us. So it might work for some communities, but not others.
The biggest thing with data centers is going to be the energy, right? I mean, the amount of energy they need to run these data centers is astronomical. And who does this expense fall on? Does this fall on
it needs to be on the company.
Community?
It should not be on the residents of the community. It needs to be on the company.
There are data centers in other states that are told, bring your own power. Like so
Texas, I think, was doing that.
So they bring these generators, and now they're polluting the air. So
I've heard about that.
And then that falls, like you said, on the community, right? So our health gets affected. And with healthcare problems, and people are complaining about how expensive healthcare is, and now they're gonna have to be dealing with that. So I think if they can figure out a way to have the grid have the capability to support that power, because that's another thing. Our grid is not ready to support that kind of power.
It's not even ready to support what we're doing right now.
Residential has a problem, right?
Remember, turn your air to 78 because our grid can't handle it. So there's a lot of things we need to get in line. I do think the moratorium allows for us to take a breath, learn from other states. These states are laboratories of they're experimental laboratories, so we can learn from people who've already done it and try to get it right and learn from their lessons. So I think it's a good thing, but I just don't love bans and mandates of any sort. But I think the pauses make sense for now.
You know who's big into it is Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary.
Well, he's investing in his own
everywhere, like Norway and all these places. These are massive. And then he's talking about the data center, and then he went into sort of the. Did you hear recently about the soldiers or the servicemen that got maybe they're in a plane. The plane got down in Iran, and they had to rescue them, but it was all AI driven by data centers that are located in the U.S., controlled by servers that are in the U.S. So there's a benefit. I get it.
Yeah.
But there's everything with a benefit comes with some sort of negative aspect. And
And the whole point is we don't want to be reliant. I mean, we've pushed so much of our energy reliance onto other countries right now. I mean, you look at NYSEG, you look at National Grid, Spanish owned, UK, and then you look at a lot of the solar and wind. A lot of the solar is built in China. A lot of the wind is built in Denmark, right? So we're kind of outsourcing our energy supply, and it gives us less ability to control it and increase our prices. It makes it more volatile. So we need to be having our energy supply American. So, I mean, I very much believe we need transparency around who owns the energy, and then we need to shift toward American energy sources, because that's a national security threat to our country. And so when these politicians make these decisions that we have no ability to impact, like transparency is number one, shed the light. And number two is start to figure out, and this can't be done overnight. It's going to take a while to, get rid of our reliance off foreign entities. But
and this was an issue with China and solar panels, right? Isn't there something like China can there's some sort of chip they found in solar panels that they can just shut it off, like something they control, on a mass scale, not like one little panel.
No, the solar panels that are connected to the computer part of it, and they connect to the grid. That's the only way the solar panels themselves don't have.
But I'm talking about the computer piece.
Yeah.
China can come in and say, fuck you, off.
Well, that's honestly why Micron is so important too. And I know the community has mixed views on that, but it's like that, the supply chain resiliency that we're building in America for chips and all these things. Chips are in everything.
And I saw you at Micron. So has John Mannion been there?
Yeah, we said hi, told him he had a good speech, shook his hand. I mean, he's the current representative here. He's really good at showing up for photo ops. I'm not sure how much he's actually done for the project. I mean, a lot of the stuff happened before any of us with Ryan McMahon, who's our county executive. Yeah. I mean, Schumer and Kathy, I mean, a lot of them were part of these conversations. So we have to give credit where it's due.
But we'll give credit. So Ryan McMahon, did he just sign that bill about term limits and he was supposed to veto it? Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that happen? How does that happen? Well, which is good, I guess, but they're trying to unfuck that, right? Yeah, they can't.
It was in People. I saw it was in People magazine.
Yeah.
So
I saw it
it's
on
made
Syracuse.com.
some national news there.
Maybe that's why he did it. He wanted to be on people.com.
Hey, it's a notch, you know.
I mean, whatever you want to think about, but that's a big mistake. I mean, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever you want, that's a problem when you're just signing shit that you didn't read.
Well, people aren't perfect, and we all make mistakes, right? So you try to put yourself in his shoes, and you don't know what happened behind the scenes.
Was that a mistake?
Have to ask him. I can't speak on his behalf.
They're trying to undo it. It's a mistake.
Yeah. So after you got into agriculture, that kind of connects you to the roots here. Right?
It absolutely does. Yeah.
And when you become a congresswoman of the 22nd district, how would you work with the farming labor reform? Am I saying this correctly?
Yeah, immigration reform and farm labor. Yeah,
is it the
H2A? Yeah,
all that. Like, how would you work with farmers here to help and support them? Because a lot of farmers have been struggling.
Absolutely, and manufacturing.
Yeah, and we know we have a friend who's a farmer, and
what does he farm?
Lewis, is it Lewis County?
It's up in
the Turin, New York.
Yeah.
What does he have though? What's he farming?
He's got cows. He's got
dairy
small
beef. Dairy or
dairy.
Dairy.
No, it's beef. It's beef. Yeah.
Okay.
And he also does crops, but it's
probably
a smaller,
some soy and corn, and then he's got some beef.
Yeah, but it's beef, and he's got some other small animals. Swine,
but he's farming. Once you farm, you can't just part-time farm. It's full-time job.
Oh yeah, I mean those cows. If you have dairy, if you have meat, I mean they have to be tended to every day. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday or it's the weather's crappy. Like it's every day, all day, and you really got to love it.
Well, they're children. It's just like
and
shitload of
he
children.
works his ass off, and he has a full-time job. Like this is just like an example of one person, but there are other farmers, that struggle with help.
Farmers are the hardest working people. I mean, we're so lucky to have so many farmers here because we are in such an uncompetitive environment. I've been to 41 states and all around the world, and we are really struggling with energy costs, with, availability of housing, and with, the tax situation. And a lot of the things here are just so uncompetitive, the zoning and the regulatory burden here. But in terms of H2A, it's something that I've been working on when I was in the grocery industry. That was in 2012, 2013. Even in the grocery industry, we had worker struggles back then. And so I really dug in. Comprehensive immigration reform was something that we had talked about. So I know a lot about this topic. And frankly, the H2A system right now, it needs to be fixed in law.
Can you explain to those who are listening, don't know what H2A is?
Yeah, so essentially, there's a farm worker program where, labor can be imported from other countries for a certain amount of time. It's not for the full year. It's for months at a time. So if you, have blueberries, that's a great opportunity for you because you're only picking blueberries for like 2 months out of the year, if that, maybe a month. So they come in, they help you prep, and then they pick the blueberries, and then they help you kind of close shop for the year, and then they go back, and they come back again next year. So the H2A program actually works pretty well for like specialty crops like, lettuce, berries, but it doesn't work well. Exactly.
Or short term,
It does not work well for dairy and meat because it's 24/7. So if you're in dairy, you can't really take advantage of it. And if you're, in meat processing, you can't really take advantage of it. Department of Agriculture inspects every single piece of meat that's on the market. So they're in looking at carcasses, every single slaughter, they're in looking at making sure it's okay for consumption. And so, there's a really big challenge with that. And it's not just dairy and meat, but we need more labor here in manufacturing. There aren't enough American workers who can do the job or want to do the job. So immigration reform, when I'm elected, we have to have a comprehensive immigration package. But part of that has to be fixes to H2A to allow dairy to opt in and to allow meat to opt in. When I was at USDA, we had a fix for H2A program. H2A, they actually just released it about a month ago, but I helped craft it when I was there for H2A to be able to get dairy longer. So that'll help dairy, but it's not going to help meat. It's just still temporary. But the biggest thing with immigration reform, the president sealed the border. The public's very, supportive of that. We want the criminals out. We don't want illegal immigration. So it's at zero. But another president could come back in and open it just like Biden did. So we have to get that figured out in law. We have to deal with H2A and fix that. H2B is another problem. And then we have a group of people who came here for the wrong reasons, under the wrong circumstances, and they need to leave. But then we have a group of people who came here with good intentions, under the wrong conditions. They came here, contributed to the economy for 40 years. They're humans. They had kids here. Yeah. They're doing well. They contribute to our economy. We have to have some kind of pathway for them. I don't support blanket amnesty, but we cannot, and this is a lot of people who work on some of these farms. They've been dedicated workers and they may have came here, illegally, but they've contributed to the economy. They have no arrest records. They're part of our community. And that has to be dealt with in law. And so those are kind of the components of an immigration package that has to happen. We need border shut in law so we don't open that up again under any president, Democrat, Republican. We need to fix H-2A to make it more broad and open for other industries and for longer periods of time. And then we need to figure out how we deal with these people who are here contributing but came here illegally. And then we still got to get rid of them.
I would say put them through the process and give them, path to citizenship. If they've been here for so long and they've been contributing and not freeloading, I mean, my family came here as immigrants in 91. And then we came under sponsorship. So a family sponsored us to come. But, and we got some of these benefits that, immigrants coming in and get. But I always say, the benefits are designed not for a lifetime. The benefits are designed to kind of get you on your feet.
Exactly.
Get you established and then get off of it, move on so that the next family can come in.
Yep.
And that was always the view in our family. Like, this is temporary. Like, we need to get the kids through education, get the jobs and move on, and we get off the system. And my understanding is that's the purpose of the program. That's the purpose of the benefits. Not a generation after generation after generation.
Are you talking like housing assistance, food stamp assistance,
yeah, like that kind
TANF?
of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All the assistance you get. And that's, in our family, was always understood as this is temporary. We need to get off of this as soon as possible. Somebody else needs these benefits. And I think those, like you said, who gotten here illegally and have contributed, those who contributed, I think maybe deserve a chance, right? Like
Agree.
Maybe we can find a way for them to get to the path of the citizenship, because they weren't here illegally and then, they're criminals or they're just freeloaders.
They need to go. The criminals need to go. People committing crime, sayonara.
Yeah.
But we have to be compassionate. These are people's lives, and there's a lot of hardliners out there. And that's where I kind of split with some of my Republican colleagues. Like, I view this as, my first job, ice cream shop, babysitting, dishwasher, nursing home server. Like, I've had every odd job, bartender, waitress, hostess. Like, I grew up blue collar. Like, I had enough, but like, I was just like, I want to do better. I don't want to, live paycheck to paycheck like my parents did. And that's the American dream too. Like, we all have our own versions of what the American dream is. And so, for me, I've seen hard work. I've seen people work really hard, and I think that they should be given the benefit of the doubt, especially if they've been here for many years. So that's where I break with some of my Republican colleagues, which is why I need to get into Congress and help actually broker a deal on this, because I understand the process well enough. I understand the industries, and frankly, my opponent, like, he, nice guy, but on this topic, like, he wouldn't know where to start. And same with Social Security, right? I have a background in tax and fiscal policy, and we're going to have an 18 to 22% haircut for everyone on Social Security starting in 2032 if we don't fix the process. And you need someone who understands these things, because we have to make sure those who are getting Social Security now get their full benefit. They should not be penalized for paying into the system and us having an incompetent government that didn't predict some of these things, that we were going to have a lower population and that, we anticipate people wouldn't live as long and all those things. We need someone like me to go in there who understands these things, who will protect those who need it. And we need to reform the system for my 5-year-old, for the 10-year-olds out there who aren't totally paying into the system yet. We have to do this the right way, the compassionate way, but the fiscally responsible way.
So how did you feel? Because it's not option now, but how about privatized retirement?
That's not perfect.
Right.
There's no if there were silver bullets to some of these solutions, then we would have them, which is why you need someone very thoughtful to go into these roles and think through things. The government has things that it does well, but over time with these public pension systems, they're using it as, political fodder. Like, you don't want them playing politics with your retirement. So that's nerve-wracking. So I think it's a mixture of things that work well between private and public. There's some kind of a mix, but you also need the right people in there who have integrity, who are honest, who are ethical, who aren't going to play politics with these dollars that people pay into and they're relying on when they retire. And we have a lot of people right now in Congress who either don't understand that and they're living in the moment. They're not thinking through 5 steps ahead, or, they just don't care. So I'm trying to bring a different flavor to the Republican Party. I mean, as a 37-year-old, right? I've worked for Trump twice. I voted for him 3 times. But I don't agree with him on everything. We just talked about immigration. Right. I have a softer stance on that because I've seen it in the field, and I can help try to broker a deal that benefits our community.
And the softer stance piece is, you're not against immigration. Mm-hmm. You're against illegal immigration, but also sort of working with those people that are contributing. Mm-hmm. Just so people know, you're not saying, nobody can come here.
No.
Everybody can come here legally.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way, and you are too, I suppose, right? Legally, you're okay with immigration. Yeah.
Sure.
Right. But that's not what a lot of people think the sort of conservative agenda is.
I know.
They think that it's just nobody can come in. That's not the case.
Well, that's why when people, especially when Democrats talk to me, they're like, wow, I thought you would have been A, B, and C. And it's you can't just paint a label on everyone. Democrats, Republicans, independents, libertarians, we all have slightly different views if we're independent thinkers. It's the people who aren't independent thinkers who just side with the party. And that's not me. That is my opponent, John Mannion. He just sides with the Dems, even if it's not right for the district. But in this seat, it's one of the 38, there's 38 districts in the country that are moderate in nature. Because of gerrymandering and because there are no term limits, we've seen a lot of the districts in the country go more right or more left. So you're seeing this radicalization of our House and Senate seats. This one right here is one of 38 that are still moderate. And so you need somebody who's willing to broker the deal, who's willing to compromise, who's willing to sit down with Republican colleagues and Republican and Democrat colleagues to really do what's best for the community and break away from whoever the president in power is to do what's right for the community or side with him if that's the right thing for the community.
Politics is not black and white.
No.
It's not that simple. And I feel like what you were saying, the radical right and the radical left has gone out of control. I mean, the things that they trying to pass on to people and not really educate themselves on, well, what was the history? What happened? How did we get to this point? It's all I feel like the younger generation is just learning history from what they're seeing now on TV or
the
social media.
The 1 minute clip on their Instagram feed or 30 seconds.
Exactly. And then you just believe that. And it's that's not education. That's not history. That's not research.
That's not accurate.
And history tends to repeat itself too. So there's a lot we can learn from looking back at history and understanding and try and prevent other things if you look at historical moments in time.
And I think we need more of younger representative on both sides of the aisle just to have more modern, younger thinking and do really think about, well, how do people benefit from this? What's good for the country? And protect the people, protect this country. I don't remember who said this, but they were talking about how generous the United States is.
And Michael Jordan.
If you compare, if you compare us to all the countries, we give out the most money, we give out the most help, aid, and all this stuff than any other country on the planet. And if we have that kind of spending, we cannot ignore the people that contribute to that funding, right? And it's all the taxpayers. And I think having younger representatives in Congress is important.
Well, and we are a very generous population. If you look at New York, it'd be one thing if we had the highest taxes and we had our poor were doing the best, but it's the poor are getting poorer and the taxes keep getting higher. We've had 500,000 people, nearly $25 billion in revenue leave New York State since 2020, which means a higher tax burden's coming along on all of us because a lot more people are leaving because of the lack of the competitive environment. So I think there's a lot of things that need to be done. Number one, on gerrymandering. I mean, I don't like it on either side, Democrats or Republicans, because it's gotten us into this place where people have to double down to get reelected and go more right and more left as the districts become more and right and left. And then term limits, you should really go in, serve your country, and get out. So, 3 terms in the House, that's,
So you're in
6.
favor of that?
Absolutely. I've signed a pledge, get in, get out, do a good job, let the next person come in, because I've been a lobbyist, so I understand how all of this works. And then you kind of get cozied up with people, and then you kind of get a little complacent. You stop having those innovative thoughts. I mean, if I'm anywhere more than 2 years, I get bored and I need the next new challenge anyway. That's just who I am and how my mind works. But you can kind of feel yourself getting more complacent sometimes. And so we need term limits to keep the fresh blood coming in. People shouldn't die in office, right?
Right, exactly.
So, that should be a bipartisan situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think these extreme measures that each side takes where they label you, they shame you, they, they what's the word?
Judge,
ruin your image and judge you and force you into resignations and things like that, I think prevents politicians and some professionals to speak outside of their party lines, even if that's their opinion. They're afraid. And I think that fear is like a threat. Like you speak outside of what we believe in. And as someone who's been in DC and been on the inside, do you hear these conversations of different party lines that have this private conversation, but they would never say that out loud?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there are definitely more kind of quiet conversations that happen that don't get kind of, in the public thought. But I was in D.C., I guess, when John Boehner and Obama were there, and they had a pretty good relationship. And it just keeps getting worse and worse with, the president and the Democrat in charge or whoever that is. And each time it's getting a little bit worse, a little bit worse. So there's backroom conversations and there's deals that get made. You need to do that because otherwise nothing would get done. But definitely people posture much more in the media for their constituents sometimes than who they are behind closed doors.
Well, in current situation, it's maybe not like that is Fetterman. Yeah, I mean, he's
amazing,
but he's kind of out there like, I really don't really care what people think about me. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. And he's sort of started a super PAC or something with another Republican.
Yeah, he probably his starts with an M. The other senator, they just like Pennsylvania didn't want to do the Great American State Fair, too political. So those two Democrat Republican aligned and they made the whole Pennsylvania booth of the state fair. Like that's a good story, bipartisanship for the people of Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania people come to the Great American State Fair, they don't see an empty booth because of a political riff. They see an awesome booth that a Democrat and Republican put together that's pretty non-controversial. Like that state fair would have been there whether a Democrat or Republican was in charge because it was the 250th anniversary of America. But like Fetterman is a resolute Democrat. Like he would call all the time when he was mad at something that would happen in the administration or with the House or the Senate, and he advocates for his people. When he believes in something, like he feels very strongly about healthy eating and the food stamp program. And so when people say that Democrats, like my opponent, can't advocate or can't get anything done when Democrats or when Republicans are on the House and the Senate and the presidency, that's simply not true because Fetterman's a great example of someone who gets things done when Republicans are in charge. Right. Rosa DeLauro does the same thing. Amy Klobuchar does the same thing. These people are Democrats who, figure out how to be resolute and like defend their people and get things done. And that's not what our current representative is doing, which is why I'm like Central New York's being left behind because he's writing a form letter that an intern responds to. And, and that's that. You got to get on the phone. You got to call. You got to broker. You got to deal make. You got to do all these things to try to get what you need for your people.
I think if you go back to the traditional Republicans and Democrats, they were getting stuff done.
Yeah, they were.
Now it's so divided and it's ugly. Like it's so ugly that they would destroy each other just not to accept or even say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like they would not even let that come out of their mouth.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about like Trump, whether people like him or not. Like he's not perfect. Neither is my husband. Neither are you all. None of us are going to agree all the time, but he's done a couple pretty incredible things. And just because it was his idea, it doesn't work. A great example, like I worked on all the meat consolidation stuff. There's 4 companies who are the biggest meat suppliers. 2 of them are Brazilian owned, 2 of them American owned. And that's a problem. And so President Trump put out an executive order in December, and it should be a bipartisan thing. And then Chuck Schumer introduces a bill in March that does the same thing, but doesn't give Trump any credit. That's a great example of Schumer and Trump agree. Why don't we just work together? But we have to politic and pretend that what Chuck Schumer's bill wasn't the exact executive order that the president put out in December, and he dropped a bill in March. It's like we're trying to do the same thing, and you just want your party to think you did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like Trump RX, like we can't deny that Trump has reduced prescription drug prices, but because it has Trump in front of everyone's like, oh, not everyone, but there's people, if you don't like Trump, but how do you like those prescription drug prices? Same with, the Trump plans, the Trump kid plans,
Same with like when Biden passed that you could buy over-the-counter hearing aids, like because hearing aids were so expensive.
How is that's like that's a bipartisan thing? Like, who can hate on that?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what,
thank you, Biden. Like, right?
Exactly.
Right.
No matter what your like and dislike is, when the president did something good, just celebrate it or take the victory.
Well, and I think what I hate too is everywhere I go, I don't even really talk about my political affiliation because I want people to know me before. And then a lot of times they'll be like, well, what party are you on? And I'm like, does it actually matter?
Yeah, but the fact they got to ask you is an indication that like you're doing the right thing because they can't tell at first.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I think that's fine. But
or they want to judge you before they hear your side of the story.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I also just hate like, okay, if Camilla was America to succeed, and all these people who like want ill of the president, it's just like, if he fails, we all fail.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same when Biden or Obama or Trump was president. Like, we should all, as a community and a country, want our president, whether we voted for him or her, to succeed, because we don't want America to fail.
Right.
And that's what's crazy to me. And that's what I'm trying to like bring in and hone in, this like level of, even though I lean Republican, like I can have these conversations and I want whoever's the next president Democrat, I'm going to want that person to succeed.
Right.
Yeah, the vitriol is really, I mean, the age of social media, all these things, like it's so much more prevalent than, and it's instant, right? But I mean, these people that say, oh, I want the president to get assassinated, like who? Why? What is that? Why? Like, yeah, I'm not a Biden supporter, but I hope the guy lives a healthy life the rest of his life. I want nothing bad for that guy.
100%.
Or anybody before
100%.
Obama. I don't care. I want you guys all to be healthy, happy. You got families. We're family people. We're all family. But other people, like, I hope he gets killed. Why would you do that? Like, how do you go to bed at night thinking I'm a good person saying that?
There's a level of like desensitization that has happened where people just kind of throw around.
But the hatred, like, how do you get that much of it? Like, how do you?
I don't think any of us have that in us.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. But the people that do, you just can't talk to them otherwise. You just got to unengage. And that's too bad, because we should be able to have these conversations with all of us.
Because, and you have to deal with it, right? Like, so if Trump gets elected, you got to deal with 4 years. They're going to impeach, all this shit's not going to happen, whatever. But so now you want to go for 4 years just spewing hatred for this person, that you're going to put your energy in all this hatred,
and
like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that emotionally to yourself? Like, all right, you may not like them, but just deal with it, because you're going to have to deal with it.
Well, I love because I've been in the Oval many times, and I love to be like, okay, you don't like him. What would you say to the president if you were sitting across right now? What would you say? Like, whatever you want.
Have you met him? Have you talked to him? Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked meat prices, egg prices, because I worked on all the food supply issues for the secretary. I rolled out the $8 billion in farmer aid with him at his roundtable. And, I spent a lot of time at the White House on strategy, not with him, but even all of the higher ups there. So, I think, for instance, my opponent, he's always bashing Trump, but it's like, why don't you make lemonade and try to be friends with them and get more for Central New York?
Yeah.
Because we can actually deliver instead of bashing all day. Like, how are you going to deliver for Central New York? Why don't you try to like find ways you can commonality and work together? Because that's what I'm going to do when a Democrat's in, and I'm going to use my relationship with the White House to give Central New York whatever I can. And that's what he should be doing. But instead, he's talking about all the bad things Trump's doing, instead of trying to be a moderate and find ways to actually find a way to turn it into something positive.
Well, look at a perfect example. You have this socialist Mandami in New York City.
A whole wave of socialists
who went and met with Trump and tried to work something out.
Yeah.
Like, even someone who's so extreme left understood that I got to go talk to the president.
Because he's the president for 2 more years, whether people like him or not. So if you ignore him and bash him, what are you going to get for you?
Right.
Like, you're better off to be, there and part of it and part of the conversation. Again, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Why wouldn't you want to be part of those conversations to like get everything you can? The socialism thing is very concerning to me, but I understand how we got here. I mean, I look at people like my sister who did everything right, has, went to SUNY school, is in debt. She's a school counselor, and, she can't afford to buy a house. She can't afford to do these things. And she did everything right, and the system failed her. Not that she's a socialist, but I can understand why people are gravitating toward that, because both political parties have failed our population. They've lied. They've made promises they can't keep. They haven't been honest. And now all of that, everyone's like, oh, where's this? Where's that? I mean, the Black community in Syracuse is very frustrated with Democrats. They feel like they come in November, they shake hands, and they just take their votes. I'm trying to get in with the Black community and understand, like, where have you been failed? How can I help? I have relationships with HUD. I have relationships with all these people. Like, what's going on with you? Let me try to help you. Because that's what we should do. We should make sure that the money coming from DC is flowing to the right cause. And it's actually getting to the people it's intended to get to.
That's
it's both parties. It's not
100%.
singular. Yeah,
it's both parties have lied to people. They've overpromised. They've underdelivered. But socialism is now right in our backyard. I mean, Bill Magnarelli, he was a 30-year moderate common sense Democrat, and he got defeated by Mo Brown. And a lot of that is because the Black community is dissatisfied for good enough reason that, Magnarelli took their votes for granted. And now they put their guy Mo Brown, who's a self-proclaimed socialist. So when people are saying socialism's just in New York, it's in our backyard now. We have Mo Brown on the ticket, and he will go into the general election for an assembly seat against Sean Fiato in a pretty liberal area. So it's time to wake up. If people aren't awake, it's time.
Which is a gateway drug to communism.
I mean, it's socialism, communism. It's all a direct. It's directly in opposition with American values.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely is. There's nothing there that works. And someone somewhere is deciding something. I mean, you look at Mandami saying everything's going to be free, and then there's salary increases for his people. $200K a year to have some of these jobs when people are struggling in New York City. There you go. I mean, we kind of have some socialism-like experiments here in New York with the wind and solar. It's like, I don't want the wind and solar in my area, but no, you're going to take it, and you're going to pay for it, and you don't have a choice.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all about becoming rich and having power. And what you said earlier, having that money coming from the government trickling down to the people it needs.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's the toughest part. I think that is the most challenging part, because I feel like when politicians get in the game and they are exposed to opportunities to become rich, they just cannot resist it.
Mm-hmm.
And those people who need the money are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take California, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The homelessness budget. Where are these billions going? Why is the homelessness growing and the money is going somewhere, but no change is happening?
I look at Syracuse and think the same thing. Look at all the vacant properties and the homeless population increasing.
Right. Why is that happening? So if the budget is allocated for that to make it better, why is that increasing? So did someone get in a position to be like, oh, I have access to this money. I know how I can come rich off of that. And I feel like they take opportunity. That trickling of money going down to the right people plateaus somewhere. And then those who in power get the most of it. And the rest of the people just get ignored.
No, I mean, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, because you do these things at the federal level and you're like, okay, I feel really good about this. We're giving this much money to this program. And then you come here and people are hungry or they don't have housing. And I'm like, we just put like $800 billion into this. What's going on? And so that's one thing that I bring to the table, because I understand how the federal process works and how I can follow the trail all the way down. But a newly elected member would never have the 14 years of experience I have and how all this works. So I'm in a unique situation where I can actually follow the money and figure out what the heck's going on with it and why it's not getting to the people that it needs to. And I think a lot of people say, oh, you'll go to D.C. and change. I'm like, I've already been in D.C. for 14 years. I paid off my loans. I've made money.
Change is done.
This is not like a lucrative career that I'm jumping into. This is me providing service to my community, because this is not, I've made money. I've paid off my debt, all those things. So I already know the tricks and the how D.C. works. And I want to actually bring that knowledge to Central New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like passion versus project. Like your passion is
100%.
Right. Yeah.
Because I thought I was having such an impact at the federal level, and then I come back here and I'm like, what is going on? The people that need these things aren't getting it. So there's a disconnect.
It's kind of
let's talk about farm brewery, right?
Really, really quick though. It's kind of like your path in politics is a little bit in reverse. Like you already went in, got your feet wet, and you're like, something's not right. Where I was talking to my wife, I said, so many politicians have these great views and I support them, and they go in and then few years in the game and they get corrupted. Right. And it's like, it's no longer the same. You see the hypocrisy just gets louder and louder. I'm like, come on, like this is ridiculous. And I'm hoping that your path is different, and that will reflect on how you look out for people in your district.
People run for Congress to have the jobs that I've had. Like I've had people say, why the heck would you go do this? You've already been at the top of the government. You've been a CEO. Like you've made money. I can go do that again whenever. This is something that I can actually do. I couldn't have done this 5 years ago because I still had loans, right? But this is something that I can do with my family, my husband, my kids. I bring them to a lot of these things, and I want them to see mom work. When I'm working in the administration, I'm working 20 hours a day with my team of 70 who are my other children and not seeing my family. So this is my way to give back, have an impact. bring all this knowledge I have and actually deliver to the place I grew up in. And people are suffering. I mean, I have a lot of people who are not doing well here, and they should be doing much better than they are.
And you don't want this as your career.
I want to get in and get out and get the hell out.
That's important because, as Roman said,
turn me out.
People, it's it. People get corrupted because now you owe somebody something. The longer you're in, the more you owe to someone. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be some sort of, carrot dangled or some sort of temptation. Mm-hmm. But in your situation, because you're saying it up front, that probably won't happen.
No one can pay. No one can pay for me to do certain things. Yeah. I know what I want to do and what I don't, and that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. If I don't want to take money from someone, I won't. If I believe in their cause, I'll take money. If not, I'll say no, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I don't care.
And you're not having an issue with that now, right? You're funded and you're good, and you've got the support
funding always. John Mannion, my opponent, has 1.6 in the bank. I have 200 and something, but Magnarelli had 10 times the amount of Mo Brown, and I have the passion, I have the grassroots, I have the momentum, and I'm going to go one by one and talk to every voter I can and get out there. So I don't think I need to match that money. Obviously, I need to raise money because in politics, that's a whole nother thing. How much money goes into this, it's kind of sickening. So I like being this underdog candidate because I know how the process works, and when I meet people, they know I'm genuine, that I actually want to do this for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So if I can get to every voter, then I'll win. But it all comes down to how many voters I can get to in the next few months. And if they see the commercials that my opponent will run against me that say I'm cozy with Trump and I'm going to just execute Trump's agenda, which simply isn't true. There's some things I support and some I don't, but that's what they will paint me as. And so I just have to get ahead of that and try to explain to people that I'm an independent thinker.
Yep.
Why is there no consequence on that? Like, why is there no consequence where politicians can go on and spew that? And if it's not true, how can they prove that that's true?
It's, technically, I know it's not technically illegal, but it's not totally ethical. And
but
so for
smearing.
me, I've come in and been like, I'm going to attack my opponent's record, not anything personally. And I hope that's the same with him. We haven't had that explicit conversation, but I will attack his record because it's piss poor. But he's a nice guy. We've had a few conversations. We saw each other at the Polish Fest. We saw each other at Micron. Listen, he's a nice guy in the community, but he ran on a bipartisan affordability line, and then he's done nothing but side with the liberals, and he's too radical for this district. He's, that's, he's to the left of Kathy Hochul. Mm-hmm. She's more moderate in some of her positions than he is.
Yeah.
And that's not right for New York 22.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
You wanted to ask about
Yeah, so we'll lighten things up. So farm brewing, right? Mm-hmm. These people do. So you're in the USDA, all these things.
Yeah.
What is there any plan at all for these people? I mean, I know it's kind of a specific niche.
Yeah.
But or niche. But so how do you think you're able to help these people that are struggling now in specifically in this industry? Because it is a crunch. There was maybe 540 or something craft breweries in New York State, and there's consolidation. People are closing, but there's an issue with trying to survive.
Yep.
But I think it's all based on obviously economy, but I think it's also ingredient and sort of procurement of the associated ingredients have to go into it. I don't know.
Are people not able to procure?
I think they get. I think there's an expense with it, and I think there's a difficulty getting it. So there's twofold.
We should dig into that a little more because I've been really digging into the farm tourism here because I've been to obviously Heritage Hill and just I love just seeing, because this stuff didn't exist when I was here. We had the wineries and that was pretty much it.
Prison City,
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, those are my people. Yeah. But I think it's interesting, and if there's a problem procuring things or supply chain challenges, I can absolutely help with that, but I need to dig in and better understand. I mean, I've never had any conversation about the brewing industry really.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to put you in the spot.
No, but I love having a problem and trying to figure out ways to fix that. I mean, I spent a lot of time on farmers markets. I've spent a lot of time on wineries, crop insurance, food stamps, forestry, forest fires, ag trade, ag research, but I have to better understand what isn't able to be procured. Did we go too quick? Are people not knowing they exist? Because frankly, I don't even know. I'm like, hey, what are we going to do this weekend? And is it a promotional thing? Do we need to have on a website? This would be easy to do. Have USDA have on a website all the ag tourism things, and it's national. So if you're visiting the Finger Lakes region for a wedding, here's all the things you can do. You go into the Holiday Inn, you see the big wine tour list, but people are very much on their phones now. Yeah. So we did that with local meat processors because we were trying to diversify the meat supply chain and show consumers you can go direct to consumer with meat. So we have a whole website when I was at USDA that lists everyone you can go to get local, muscle cuts of meat. So I feel like there's probably a way to better do that, but I need to understand why they're going out. Are they going out because people don't know about them? They can't procure things. They're not good at business.
Right.
All of these things. What is the issue?
And it's probably all of that to some degree, but I think some of the things they can't control.
Well, one of the things you mentioned is supply costs. I mean, Central New York used to be one of the hubs for hop growing for beer
in the country.
In the country, yeah.
What happened?
So and now it's like gone.
Climate. So something happened. Maybe in the 60s, 50s, something like that. I think this used to be like a hotbed. And something happened with rainwater, winter, whatever the case may be. And that sort of took away from us and moved out west or other places. So we can still do that.
You got to ship it in from out west.
That's right. So there's a logistical problem.
And if you're not getting a lot of it, if you're getting little batches, then it's actually technically more money.
Right. So there's a lot of co-ops that people try to do to try to save money, things like this. But
maybe there's a way to bring it back. Maybe there's a way to start growing it here again. And so the brewers...
Well, they are growing it here again now.
Has it been successful? Have the crops been yielding?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just, I think probably the problem now is turning it around. Like people don't know to come here because it's been decades that they haven't had to come here. So how do you get the word back out that you can come back here and get it?
Well, people love a good local story
That's
too.
right.
It's like, I love if I can do that, if you're financially able and can do that. I think the other phenomenon here is, though, that we're not talking about is a lot less people are drinking. And that includes beer, wine, and spirits. And a lot more people are smoking weed or doing, some of these like THC drinks or, edibles. And so we have this phenomenon that happened in COVID where like a lot of people and a lot of the younger generation doesn't really drink.
Yeah. And that's a very fair point for sure.
And I don't know how we deal with that. That's a whole nother thing.
We just need to drink enough on their behalf.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you guys aren't really going too quick. So
if that's a challenge, then okay. Yeah.
Let me ask you, when you moved to DC, is there a restaurant or food that you really missed from Auburn?
Oh my gosh, I have all these favorites. Well, one of my favorite places where I wash dishes, Michael's. Well, Alaska's is good, but I loved Michael's because I worked for Duffy Mastrapitro, and he's half Polish, I'm half Polish, and he's Italian, and he made the best food. And I washed dishes there, and I just worked really hard, and he'd promote me to hostess, and then I just keep busser. I went from dishwasher to busser to hostess. That was very cool. But I would try all these amazing foods that I didn't know, and now it's shut down because look at the business climate, right? I love Cameron's Half Moon cookies, Cameron's Bakery. Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
I love Cameron's so much. So I always have to, whenever I was in DC, I'd always make my dad bring. And then I love Doug's fish fry. No fish fries like Doug's.
Yeah. And you get a big portion of it too.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. It's so good. But
is there a Doug's restaurant anymore?
It's Doug's Fish Fry.
Yeah, but is there still a restaurant? Because there was like a couple around. Now I only see the food truck.
Oh, yeah. There's one in Scan. There's one in Cortland. I always go to the Scan one because I'm in Auburn. Because
there used to be one right here in Moyers Corners.
There was a brick and mortar?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no, that was something else.
No.
That was like JD Fish or something.
That was not Doug's Fish Fry. Doug's Fish Fry is very specific.
Right where the car wash is?
No, it's not. It wasn't Doug's.
It was a Hardy. It's been like 10 things. You know what?
It was like a seafood.
There's no way a Doug's Fish Fry because they are always slammed.
I had a barley wine before this, so maybe I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
It was not.
I'm betting.
It was not Doug's Fish Fry.
But it was a fish fry.
It was like a seafood restaurant.
But all I see now is like the food truck, like out towards Cato. There's like this food truck.
Fine. It still gets the job done.
No, I get it, but I just didn't realize that because there was one out in. Was there one in Mattydale?
No, I know there's one in Cortland. I don't know if there's one in Mattydale.
There's not now for sure, but I don't know if there was one.
I can't imagine a Doug's will close because I just feel like they're always so busy.
No, I'm pretty sure something closed.
Really?
Yeah.
Doug did die at some point.
I'm a little
there might have been a franchisee.
I'm a little more seasoned than you, so maybe.
I mean, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Season is one thing, but doesn't mean it's right.
Fact check.
So it's.
Yeah, I think, I will say Angelo's, Late Night Pizza, Auburn. And then I love Baked Scrod. I didn't realize other places don't have Baked Scrod. That's like a thing here.
What is that? I don't know.
It's just like the way that they make like haddock or whatever. It's just like the very tender.
Yeah.
And then they put crumbs on it. No, they don't deep fry it. It's like baked and they put like crumbs on it with like lemon. And they have it at Alaska's. They have it at Sherwood. I love Sherwood's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the Sherwood.
That's woman owned, right? Yeah. I think so.
No, the owner. I mean, maybe
Holy
it's a
fuck,
husband.
I'm wrong everywhere.
Are you just
I'm pretty
making
sure.
shit up?
Maybe it's a husband-wife couple, but
I'm going to check it out. But I know Atlantic does.
we need some fact checks. We
Okay.
need fact checks on Doug's and Maydell. We need a fact check on.
We'll have the producer
owner
do
of
it. That's me.
Sherwood.
But like but Atlantic does baked haddock. You could just buy the raw fish and it comes in like a little foil pan. It's all seasoned. You just throw it in the oven. It's just not breaded.
Okay. There's something about the breading though with the lemon. What are your favorites around here?
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a tough one. There's a new restaurant called Incas. It's Peruvian.
Ooh,
That's really
Peruvian
good.
chicken.
They have. It's interesting. The Peruvian.
Where's it at?
It's downtown Syracuse.
Okay.
Where Clark's used to be in the corner.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's new, good one. I love a good pizza. So
Where's your place?
I don't know. I'm kind of stuck with Gino and Joe's.
Okay.
Fucking
I like-
chain.
Well, are they chain?
I don't know.
I heard they're different families.
I'm
There's
just making
one.
shit up because that's what you guys say.
There's
So-
one.
Yeah. None of the facts seem spewed, or we need a fact check for the listeners, or
I'm
they need
good.
to be.
There's
fact
like
checked.
Gino and Joe's in Clay, and there's Gino and Joe's in Beeville, and they're not the same owners.
Oh, they're not.
No.
Oh. Okay.
I actually met the owner of the one in Beeville. I did some work for him, and I was like, "Is that your restaurant over there?" He's like, "No." But while he's doing this, I wanted to ask you, how is food labeled organic? Like, what are the criteria?
God, this makes me so. This is gonna get me heated.
Sorry, I'm just curious because I'm like, is it just they slap the label on? Like, what's the requirement?
Yeah, I mean, you still can use certain pesticides, fertilizer, et cetera. It's not but it's a lot more restrictive. And there is it's an audit certification process. So you basically submit paper and USDA approves it, and they might go check once in a while. But the GMO and the organic stuff frustrates me sometimes, especially GMO. For instance, for a while, people were branding carrots non-GMO. It's there's no non-GMO version. So it's marketing that's confusing.
actually bullshit because
I agree.
A non-GMO carrot is disgusting. and I listened to this TED Talk, and this woman said a non-generically modified carrot is a root is so gross. If you bite into it, it's so disgusting you wouldn't want to eat it. All they did is just made it a little bit sweeter and pleasant, attractable, color orange, and you can enjoy it and still get those vitamins. Otherwise, you wouldn't eat it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, organic too, it is more expensive, and you have to kind of make sure that your land, if you're doing organic soy, you got to make sure that land wasn't used for non-organic soy for a year or two, and then you do it, and then it's higher costs. And how much differentiation is there really? It's a marketing program is what it is. It's a marketing program, and you're going to pay more.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a farmer says, my farm is organic. Well, a farm next door is not organic. So how are those pesticides not wash off into your land?
Yeah. No, I think it's a good point. And nothing's perfect, right? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who only eat organic, and you try your best to make sure. But yeah, there's natural phenomenons that happen out there that you can't totally control. But I think this move toward regenerative ag is a good thing, right? Let's do better by our land. Most farmers want to do better by their land. Most farmers want to use less pesticides and less fertilizer. And hey, let's incentivize it through economic means. Let's incentivize them to do better and use less, because that stuff's expensive. They don't want to use as much as they need to. So I think we're getting smarter. We're micro-targeting over time. We're using drone technology to drop things right exactly where you need them instead of spraying whole fields. We're getting better, and we are using less as we go. And the government's economically incentivizing that behavior with farmers to push them in that direction. So I think it's very much a net benefit. I mean, I've done a lot of work with the Make America Healthy Again movement, done a lot of work with RFK. I've done a lot of work with Kelly Means. We redesigned the food pyramid. I don't know if you guys saw when we did that. I was part of that. It was Christmas Eve, and we were deciding, should it be a upside down triangle or should it be a pyramid? What should we do? So we were kind of beefing back and forth on all that. And just being part of that whole rollout was really cool, because we really are trying, what's controversial about making America healthier again? We have one of the most obese populations in the entire world ever in our history. We have less qualified people for the military than we ever have had. We have more kids with diabetes. I mean, we are doing something completely wrong. And the only people who don't really support the Make America Healthy Again movement are people who just don't like RFK or don't like Trump. Because it's a common sense thing. We all want to be healthier. We all want to be healthier. I want my kids to be healthier. I want them to be healthier than me. I could be healthier. I'm sure you guys could too. But these are positive steps that we're trying to teach our kids, bringing whole milk back to school so they have more protein and more nutrients. I mean, I'm really proud of the work that we do with RFK. on regenerative ag, on the food pyramid, on bringing whole milk back to schools, on making sure like a lot of this medical food you're seeing roll out in hospitals, a lot of the training that you're seeing in medical universities and in schools on how to teach people how to eat healthy. We've developed all that when I was at USDA. So all these things we developed over the year, and then it's rolling out incrementally as it's ready. So
someone coming in?
Someone joining us?
Oh.
Hi, how are you? We have a special guest.
Yes.
Yeah, Dennis.
So Dennis can come in.
Yeah, come in. Come sit.
You need a chair.
How you doing?
We got one.
Good.
Yeah.
I was going to make my way to you after this.
So I got to apologize because you are right. The Sherwood Inn is not women-owned. But I know you, because you're not wrong in anything you do. I understand that. But
That's what my husband says too.
Good husband. He's smart. But the Braylock Inn is women. Okay.
Okay, so, yeah. If you said Braylock, I would have said yeah.
Well, if I said Braylock, I wouldn't have been wrong.
I would have known. What about the fact check on Doug's? Because I think I'm right on that too.
Oh, yeah.
Did you fact check it?
No, I didn't do that because
he was going to be wrong.
1 for Kailee, 0 for Frank.
You're right. No.
Yeah.
It's probably like Frank 0 for 50.
He also has 3 nipples, so it's okay.
I do have 3 nipples. One on my back for dancing.
Dennis, are you judging me because I'm drinking wine here? I was like,
Do you want a drink?
They had it.
Beer?
So we have Dennis Sick with us as well. You can move over if you want here a little bit this way.
He's the owner of the amazing Mohegan Manor.
No, I'm good.
Wine?
I got some wine right here for you.
You could drink right out of the bottle.
Here you go.
We'll have a beer if it's anything.
What kind of beer you want?
No, don't get up.
I'll get it.
He can get it for you. We could do it. I'm gonna do this now. There's a Doug's Fish Fry that closed somewhere. And I got to be 1 for 1 somehow.
You know what? but I can't concede until I know the answer.
I know.
Because I can't relent. I can't, because I'm pretty sure, that'd be crazy if Doug's Fish Fry closed. Do you know anything about a Doug's Fish Fry closing up?
Those are their homes.
Well, Cortland definitely is open because I've been there recently, and Scan obviously is open.
I'm talking like 10 years ago this thing closed. I thought there was a Doug's Fish Fry in Mattydale.
It was.
It's closed.
It closed?
Yeah.
Oh,
1 for
fact
1?
check right there.
1 for 1?
So I'm
okay.
glad you're here, Dennis.
I'll take I'll
Okay.
concede.
There was one here in Moyer's Corners, too.
Holy shit. I hate all you guys. He just said there was one at Moyer's Corners, Roman.
Yeah. That was,
Are you sure it was a Doug's
You better
Fish Fry?
refill me right now.
it was where
Where the car wash is. And it was a Hardee's before this. Look, I don't like
Roman.
People think I'm full of shit, and I am, but not in this.
I don't usually. I'm not wrong very often, but I will say if he's right, and I could have been wrong on
I knew
this.
this because I grew up in Kimbrook.
That was not
At Moyer's Corners.
Yeah.
I thought the Morris Corners seafood restaurant was like JD Fish or something.
No, that took over from
Dogs.
Doug. And then
Okay.
it was over on Manlius Drive.
Put it right in the middle of you.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Over on Manlius Drive, there was JD's also, which that might have been a Doug's.
On Manlius Drive?
Over by Tracy Road Equipment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
That might have been even.
So I'm not 100% full of shit, like 98 maybe.
I really thought I was
70.
right, but hey, listen, future congresswoman can be wrong.
No,
too, so
you're not
it's
wrong.
okay.
You're just incorrect with your facts right now. That's all.
I could do a whole show on just all the bars from Liberty Kelly's back door all the way up to North Syracuse.
That's next show.
That's next week.
That's
Next
another
week.
show.
I feel like a bar crawl coming on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's another show. This is about Kailee right now.
Well, you guys have been easy
But
on
thank you
me,
for joining
so
us.
I'm kind of, I was waiting for the real juicy questions, and you guys.
But they're coming. Like, so let's talk about that. Like, what is so you're past the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky stuff. Like, what's some of the weirdest shit you've seen there, right?
In DC?
Yeah, like, like who's done what with who that like people don't know. So the juicy question.
Too
comes
juicy.
I get it. I don't.
No,
Yeah.
but okay, you were like
nothing that I've been involved
Sure.
with. So
It's not
I mean,
you.
let's be real. I've been with my husband for a long time, so no juicy things for me. But there's
some weird shit that happens.
There's
Like, so,
people with stories. For
not
sure.
even relationships. Like, what is just some weird stuff? Like reporters. Like not like sexual stuff. I'm talking about. Like just like what is happening. Like, have you seen a skirmish? Like, has someone like argued with someone that you just don't see in public, or like have you seen anybody that's
I mean, there's definitely those people who will like go on dates with people and try to get information and stuff. I mean, you just got to be really careful.
Yeah.
I mean, that probably happens everywhere, but specifically there, I mean, that happens. I mean, that's not abnormal. No one would be surprised by that.
we're not trying to out anybody. That's
I gotta think
we'd
about
love to-
that.
anything strange, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, I can't not believe that guy wears an alien costume like when he's outside of work or just
I feel like
the guy dressed like a GMO carrot? Like what the
fuck? I'll have to think about that. We'll get back to that one. I'll think about that.
Next episode.
So you're elected, you're a congresswoman. What are your first steps?
I mean, our community is suffering, so we have to do something on energy and we have to do something on taxes. And a lot of the reason that we are in the place we are is not because of Washington, it's because of New York State. And it's my husband calling, probably like, what are you doing? Are you still talking to Brews?
Oh, you're here GMO carrot. He's like, I gotta call.
Is this live right now?
No.
Okay. 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 So he's
have your bodyguard text him sometime.
Will you tell Eric what's going on? Yeah, get on it. Yeah, so I the energy situation and New York State is really suffering. So everyone says, well, you as a congresswoman, it's federal. How can you fix New York State things? Well, I'll do everything I can to override New York State law if Albany won't get together and repeal the climate law that's like quadrupled our energy costs. Mm-hmm. Like there's a business in Auburn, it's a restaurant that I've been going to. His energy bills were $2,000 a month. Now they're $9,000 a month. He has a place up for sale.
Terrible.
And like he's not getting any new customers. He has the same base. And then if he raises prices, everyone bitches. Mm-hmm. Right. And so it's like, what am I to do? I built this business with my hands. And now, New York and their energy mandates are getting me out of business. So we have to do something on that. We need an all of the above energy strategy. Pennsylvania, Democrat governor, Democrat House, and they have an all of the above energy strategy. They have some wind, they have some solar, they have nuclear, and they're fracking, they're extracting natural gas. And we, in our infinite wisdom in New York, have really overcorrected. And we've said we're going to mandate wind, we're going to mandate solar, we're going to mandate electric buses, and we're going to say no fracking, no natural gas, no gas stoves, no gas cars, and it's costing us. Mm-hmm. And so that's the issue. We have gone way too far. And frankly, New York isn't the best place to trial these things. Solar panels, great in Arizona. We have 130 cloudy days a year here, right? Mm-hmm. So solar panels can work on top of Walmart, on top of your house, but like, should we really be doubling down and mandating them the way that they have when they don't produce enough energy? Same with electric buses. Electric buses do not perform well in a climate like this. This is cold. Trial them somewhere that's warmer and they probably work a little bit better, but we've doubled down on all these things. We need to be rational and thoughtful. We need more options as consumers, and that will automatically lower costs.
And infrastructure can't handle electric buses, right?
Yeah, a single electric bus to fully charge can deliver power to an entire neighborhood. A single bus, that's a lot of power.
What's plugged into the bus?
Yeah, literally. The bus can be the traveling grid that is collapsing when the blackouts start.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. And our infrastructure, I mean, I have friends who, work at National Grid, and we discuss these things. They're like, we don't understand what they want us to do. Like, our infrastructure is not designed to handle this kind of load. On top of that, they're pushing all the electric cars, electric buses, data centers. Like, how is all this power going to be delivered? Nuclear, I think I support nuclear power.
So do I.
I think it's more efficient. Mm-hmm. It's not as dangerous. This isn't fucking Chernobyl, all right? Like, this isn't, the technology is much newer, much efficient, better controlled, better regulated.
And a lot of incompetence had to occur to get Chernobyl, let's be honest. A lot of people fucked up.
That's right.
Exactly. Right. If you look at the nuclear waste and the exposure, it's very little. And it's not as toxic as people think. Weirdo. He gets the weirdest shit.
Where does one get this? I'm into it.
This is Frank after Chernobyl.
We're gonna put him right in front of my wine bottle.
That's my hair.
But yeah, I support you, and I think there is a bill or something that's been passed to go ahead and move forward with building a new nuclear plant.
Yeah, so there is bipartisan support for nuclear here in New York, but here's the problem. Here again, New York has some of the highest regulatory environment, some of the worst zoning regulations. So it's going to take longer in New York than it would in another state. Mm-hmm. And like, we're not saying we need to fast track nuclear in a way that's like detrimental to the environment or to humans, but like, we just have local regulation on top of state regulation on top of federal regulation. So we just have a very burdensome system. So a place that can fast track nuclear way quicker than us. So that there is bipartisan support. So that's a really good thing for Central New Yorkers. But it's going to take a while to come online because we do have a more challenging situation here.
Or at least temporary import a nuclear power plant. There's companies that have modular nuclear plants where think of it as a battery cell. Mm-hmm. Say your neighborhood is 5,000 watts or megawatts of power. right? This nuclear plant, but it's designed to handle 1,000. So they're like these cells that go in to support the load. So if the neighborhood expands and needs more power, you just expand. It's a modular nuclear.
Isn't Bill Gates developing something like this, like really tiny?
I've been following this company out of Europe a long time ago, and I said, this is going to be amazing. This is something that's going to probably end up in spaceships and all kinds of stuff.
Like you have nuclear vehicles, nuclear power, do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't be around for that.
You'll be around because you're like fucking 12.
It's the technology is there, and I think we just need to collaborate with other countries and invite other engineers to work on these things.
Well, I mean, I need to look into it to understand the safety and the efficiency, but on its face, it sounds like a better option than testing a electric bus. And so Albany is really playing house with our tax dollars, and they're like, oh, let's see how the electric buses will go. Oh, here's some tax dollars. They'll keep coming. No problem.
Yep.
We just can't keep doing that. And I think the other thing that is a challenge is that we do have a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. Some of it is, accidental.
As
some
a
of it's
country,
intentional.
but
New York,
well,
New York won't play ball with the federal government to try to find some of that waste. So, for example, we spend $2.8 million a day just in New York on erroneous food stamp payments, SNAP program. And that's not fraud. That is I'm a household of 4 and my kid turned 18 and got off the rolls, and I was getting the amount of someone for a household of 4, but for the last 6 months I was getting for 4, but now I only have 3.
Yep.
But you're not going to take the money away because it's spent. So we have $2.8 million. That's $1 billion a year. Think what you could do with that money.
Yep.
That could pay for maybe one of these nuclear reactors. And Kathy Hochul, because she doesn't want to do any wins with Trump, and maybe she's benefiting off of fraud in the system or waste in the system, keeping people on the program to vote or whatever. But the point is that God forbid she works with Trump to clean the program up and help those in need and get people who are committing fraud or whatever off the program. I'm for giving people in need more money and getting the fraudsters out and putting them in jail. Don't commit fraud with our tax dollars.
Right.
People need those. There's people struggling, and we need to help those in need and get those fraudsters out.
Yep.
Well, this is what we talked about earlier. If you speak out of it, then your side will demonize you,
you're labeled,
kick you out, will label you. You're so and so, and then you're forced to resign.
But I simply don't care.
Right.
I'm just going to speak the truth, and
because this is not your career again, right? That's what you said.
But that's what I'm saying. Things are not being done because they're following what is the political forecast is.
Yeah.
And longevity, right?
Yeah.
You've got to play ball to last long, but you don't give a shit about that.
No, I don't.
Yep.
Literally, I mean, if the people decide they don't want to elect me, I'll be upsetting, but I'll move on and be fine. The community is going to lose out more than I am, frankly, because I can actually get things done here.
What's the vision for the community in your first year?
I mean, we have to fix this energy situation. I'm going to make sure every dollar that comes here federally is accounted for and goes to the right person, because that's what we're lacking right now. We have a huge housing issue. We have a huge homeless issue, and we're not going to solve all these issues overnight. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and have all these broken promises that we're going to reduce taxes and energy immediately and everyone's going to have a house. That's not real.
Right.
But if we can fix one person's life or have them in a better situation every day, that's a win. If we can get one family in a better situation than they are today, that's a win. So I'm going to look at every day and be what did we accomplish today? What did we win? And explain that.
Yeah.
Or maybe get the ball rolling for the next person coming in to take over, to at least be in a good position, right? To kind of continue the program.
And listen, I'm going to be honest and transparent. I think a lot of times, and my opponent does this, it's not all members do it, but there should be a level of accountability. When you take a vote, you have to tell the public what you did. A lot of them hope they take a vote and then they hope no one notices and that no one's ever going to hold them accountable. We should be, as elected officials, mandated to share our votes and why.
Sure.
Because you all elect us to do a job, and if we're not doing that job, you should know. And I know a lot of people are checked out and they maybe don't care, but we do need to hold people more accountable to make sure that their votes are representing us. So I'm going to read every bill. I'm going to explain to voters why I vote a certain way. I'm going to talk to voters if I'm confused or if I don't know which way to go, and I'm going to explain why I went that way. And I'm always going to be honest, because what do I have to lose by being honest? If something can't be done, I mean, people tell me every day, you should sponsor this bill. And I'm like, if that hasn't passed in a Republican House and a Republican Senate with Trump, it ain't going to happen. So I'm not going to tell you, I'll put my name on a bill that has no viability of going anywhere, because that would be a waste of my time and yours. I talk to people all the time about this, and they're like, wow. That's not what I wanted to hear, but thank you.
The honesty is refreshing. Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned accountability, because I've always said this. We elect people who make these promises for us. they earn our vote because of those promises. And then once they get voted in and they win, it's like we're all forgotten about.
I agree.
That accountability system needs to be in place, and maybe some kind of a audit program or whatever. Like, look, you said this, and this during your campaign. You won all these votes, and you got this position because of what you promised. And now you're abandoning these people. You're abandoning all these votes.
Yep.
So you need to be accountable, and you have to actually work on this. Otherwise, resign. Somebody else needs to step in.
Well, right now, the accountability, at least for my opponent in this certain circumstances, on me to tell the public, because as I'm getting out there and speaking, they're like, oh, we didn't realize that. Because again, and it's not just him, a lot of members do this. They vote and they hide and they hope no one notices. A lot of them do it, Democrats and Republicans, and that is not right. That is not ethical. You get here by the people and you should be held accountable to the people. So I'm going to get out there and talk about his record and how he has failed this area.
What would you do? I'm in real estate as well. So like, what would you do for a younger generation who are struggling to own a home?
I know it's so hard. I mean, I talk to people every day who are on the rat race, like my sister.
Yep.
Like she's like, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to be paying my student loans off for the next like 20 years. It's $217 a month, and then I have like $50 left for food for the month. Like truly, and she's a freaking school counselor. So I mean, here again, New York is the least competitive. We have the worst regulatory climate. We're like dead last when it comes to housing affordability and availability. But we need to have some level of like first-time home ownership, opportunities. We need to try to, meet them where they are. And not everyone can own a home. Like that's a promise. Like when I grew up, it was like must go and get a 4-year degree, must own a home, and like. Now there's a lot of people in debt with a 4-year degree and they're waitressing or they're bartending or they're working at a desk, which is all admirable work. But like now they're in a bunch of debt paying their loans. They feel overeducated for the jobs that we've had. We did not train the workforce that we need for right now. And that's part of the issue. So we have to have better training programs, better education. I mean, when I was in school, they barely even taught you how to write a check. They were too busy teaching art and music, which is great. But if you can't balance a checkbook and budget, then, we need to have at a young age these kind of like, my guidance counselor said, go to the best school you can go to. I got into Syracuse, and then I was in a bunch of debt for 1 year and couldn't get a loan for the second year. I was failed by the system, and I'm one of the lucky ones because I paid my loans off because I made money. But not everyone has that. So there's no silver bullet issue there, but people are struggling and they're depressed because they want to be able to have a house. They want to have a kid.
I'll tell you this. When Cuomo was in office, we actually went to Albany and we lobbied. And a lot of realtors were there lobbying on behalf of first-time home owners, buyers. And the way the program that was set up is off of the foundation of 529. You familiar with that?
Yes.
So same way family members can contribute to their kids, grandkids, whatever, funds as a 529.
It's a good idea.
To when they are at age of being able to buy a home, then they can take those funds and invest and buy a home.
Yeah.
I think it made
that's
it
just
to
kind of like the Trump
Cuomo's
accounts too, though, right? Because like you're putting money in an IRA and they can't touch it till they're 18. So it's kind of
something
like
that. Yeah. We built it off of a 529 college fund.
Yep.
So same thing for the kids to parent be able to put money in there.
That makes a lot of
sense. Tax deductible. If you're married, it's $10,000. If it's single, $5,000 a year. And then, when you're ready to buy a home, you pull that money. At least you have this chunk of money to put down, closing costs, and now you own the home.
Yep.
Right. And less younger generation own homes, the more investors outside of this country invest in real estate and rent these properties out. And that money goes back outside of the country. And then more kids live on debt. So,
well, when I was in the admin, I think when was it? Like maybe February, right? As I was about to leave, or maybe it came out in March and we wrote it. But like that is a big problem that a lot of the housing for first-time home buyers is being bought up by investors, which there's a piece of that puzzle, but like we can't have that be. So we did do an executive order to make sure that not as many could be bought by those investors and could be bought for those, first-time home buyers. But then the other side of that, I like where you're going with your thing, but the other side of that coin is we had a lot of programs at Department of Agriculture because they had, many different agencies, and we have the 14th biggest bank at USDA for housing, and we have loan programs. And a lot of the first-time home buyers, like they were going out to people who could never afford it, and so then you're in a situation where you have to like, deal with how to, so a lot. Not everyone's ready to do that. So I think that's a perfect solution.
I quit working for a company that had a lot of foreign investors, and when I opened my own, I said I will not have a foreign investor. I will only work with local or United States. Or I've had clients who were in the military but just had to be relocated because they were stationed at a different location. I still manage their property for them, but I refuse to work with investors.
We need more people like you with
that are
principle,
foreign.
because a lot of people will just work with the foreign because they're making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But we need more people with principles, not only from a national security standpoint. I mean, you even think about China and how much farmland of ours that they own.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a national security risk, especially if it's near military bases. And a lot of these foreign investors, if there isn't the level of oversight there.
Mhm.
So I commend you, because I'm sure it's not the most profitable decision you've ever made, but it's the right thing to do. And we need more people to do the right thing, not
Right.
the thing that necessarily is
Yeah.
a profitable thing. Because a lot of these other countries, not all of them, have ill intentions
Yeah.
or have longer term plans
Yeah.
that we may not know.
Of course,
Greed is ugly. Yeah.
I took a pay cut, no doubt, and there was
Like this
struggle.
podcast, right?
But again, yeah, this is we're in zero. Sponsor us. Yeah, no doubt I took a pay cut, but consciously I felt good.
Right.
So that for me was more important than my reputation and integrity, but also what I'm doing to the community. Like if I want to be part of the community, I want to make sure that I don't affect how difficult it is for someone to get a rental property, or how difficult it is for a young couple who want to start a family can buy a house. Like, why is that?
Well,
You
and
know?
you also feel more rewarding. Like there's, a family in Auburn, and, one of the moms got put away for life or whatever, and they're with the grandparents, and the grandma has terminal cancer or whatever. But we just like help the kid out, and it's like no one needs to know who it is or what it is, but it's more rewarding to see that family impacted by what we're doing for them than it is for me to give to like a nonprofit where I don't know their money's going. So
Right.
same for you. Like you're seeing the impact you're having on the community, and a direct impact, like you're changing this person's life, and I'm helping this kid, like, in a horrible circumstance, hopefully be a little bit better. And again, none of that matters, but like I can feel what I'm doing is actually helping. And I think you probably feel the same way versus just like a check coming in from a foreign government.
I enjoy helping people. I was a volunteer firefighter for 5 years.
Well, thank you for your service.
You don't
That's
get
a whole
paid for
nother thing.
shit.
Yeah.
But the reward piece is important. But you also feel good about doing it.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. Like whether or not you felt anything, that's just what humanity is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'll ask you one last question, because Dennis is here too. He's a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do for small business owners? How would you help them?
I mean, they're getting absolutely clobbered right now. And again, it's hard for them to even stay afloat with the way costs are going. I mean, every single thing they're getting hit on. This regulation, that regulation, this new tax, this tax assessment. I mean, we haven't even gotten into tax assessments. New York State keeps hiking those, and the locals, because they need more tax revenue to fill their coffers when they actually need to budget. We have to budget as a family, all of us do, yet our government doesn't. So I think we need to try to get back to the basics and budget like our businesses, like our families do. And we need full transparency on where our taxpayer dollars are going, local, state, federal, all of it, because there is waste that we could identify. But it's not fair what we're putting our business owners in. We're going to keep seeing them go out of business. So making this atmosphere a better, more economically viable place where they can thrive, not just survive, if they can even survive in this atmosphere. But
Well-
Dennis, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what specifically I can do.
Could I blindside you with a question?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, so what would you think about both the federal and the state shutting off unemployment services for different sectors? For example, in the restaurant business, there's not a restaurant that is not looking for an employee. So therefore, why are we giving unemployment? Sure. So to help the restaurants, if they said, okay, if they pulled an industry and they found that everybody's looking for work, there is no unemployment in the restaurant industry, which allows the restaurant a savings on unemployment, but it also will make better employees if they know they can't work 20 weeks and then go collect 26 hours a week, and they work that. You get roofers. I mean, why are we giving roofers unemployment when every roofer is looking for that? So there's something that doesn't cost the taxpayer anything other than the fact you save the business the cost of the unemployment insurance, and you make better employees. If the employee knows that if they walk away from the job, they quit the job, they go get another job at a restaurant. That's it.
Well, I think to take a step back from that, though, we have a system right now. Like I hear from business owners all the time, like, oh, at this restaurant that is for sale now, they're like, oh, we can't find a lot of people who will work over 19 hours a week because then their other benefits get cut off. Food stamps, housing, TANF, LAHEAP, all of these things. And so we've created a system that probably it was well-intentioned at one point, right? All these programs were made with good intention. But over time, we figured out how to take advantage of it, or, it's more economically viable to work 19 hours a week at your restaurant and then go get your food stamp and your LAHEAP and your housing than if you got off all those programs and you went to work at the restaurant. So the incentives are completely off for you to have the workers that you need. So unemployment insurance is one piece of that, but there's hundreds of other government programs, and food stamps is one. HUD housing is another, and I'm talking federal. And then there's all these levels of local and state programs too that I'm really digging into and better understanding. But the unemployment situation is just a piece of this. Our programs are set up right now to incentivize that behavior, and that's what it's doing. And so we have to kind of reset the system. And to be honest, like that's going to be really hard to walk a lot of that back because these are complex programs that have built over time that have a lot of advocates. So there's no easy answer, but I'm open to exploring anything we can. But a lot of these things are federally authorized things, like food stamps is a 4-year authorization in a farm bill. We're not getting a farm bill done right this year. They did some food stamp reforms in the One Big Beautiful Bill last year, but the farm bill is not going to get done in an election year. So how do you fix the food stamp program? So I mean, they're well intentioned, but they're not serving their intended goal, and they're disproportionately impacting businesses in a negative way from a worker's standpoint.
I think protecting small businesses is important because every local community is employed. Employees are part of small businesses. Over 90% of small businesses.
GDP.
Yeah, like in the United States, out of all the businesses in the United States, 90% are small businesses. Mm-hmm. And that's what every local community is being employed by, small businesses. And when we don't protect and help the small businesses and they close, that's that many number of unemployed people now searching for jobs.
Well, I mean, the president says small business is big business because a lot of people want to support their local small business. I try to do it in every way that I can. Like, instead of buying flowers at Walmart, I want to go to the local florist.
We do the same thing, yeah.
It's, they're a little cheaper at Walmart, but they're, imported or whatever. And then I'm going to try to help the local florist and pay an extra $5 or $10. And so I think there's a lot of people who want to do that when they know where their things come from. To your point earlier on like local brews, people want to know like, oh, look, that was grown out there and now I'm drinking what I can see in the field. Like people like that.
You mentioned Heritage Hill, like all these things.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no one, again, I wish I could tell you that there was a simple fix, but these are complicated issues that have taken years to get us here. And now we're at a breaking point where everyone's like, how the heck did we get here? And frankly, I hope people are waking up because there's been a lot of complacency with the voter community and thinking, oh, my vote doesn't matter. I don't need to hold my politicians accountable. Now everyone's like, how did we get here? What happened? It's like years and years and years of lies, neglect, and lack of accountability. And that's a fact.
And acceptance.
Yeah, and that's
it's
a
been
fact.
allowed.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a closing message?
How can people give you money? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, give me all the money. Yeah. So my website is KaileeBuller.com, Kailee Buller, BULLER.com. All my socials are Buller for New York, BULLER for New York. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You can donate on my website. But more than anything, I mean, I answer all my stuff personally. I do have a couple people on my team, but it's important to me that I hear directly from the voters. And I don't want my staff like filtering things out. I want to know what everyone's saying. So a lot of times, like I'm responding directly on Facebook. If people have a comment or question, they're like, what's your position on this? And I respond, and that's really important to me. So I really need people to get out and follow me because that's where I'm telling my story. The media isn't covering me a lot. It's here and there, but a lot of people don't know who I am. I need to get my name ID out there, and people know there's an alternative out there who's more of a statesman-like candidate, like your John Kakos, like your Richard Hannas, who are moderate Republicans who can work across the aisle and want to deliver for the community, and that is not what my opponent is. So I want to talk to independents, Democrats, Republicans. I need all of their support. This is a lean Democrat district. We have about 180,000 Democrats, 165-ish thousand Republicans, and then 150,000 independents. John Mannion won this election by 38,000 votes in the last election. Voter turnout tends to be a little bit lower in a midterm year, but either way, I can't win this election with Republicans alone. And frankly, I'm not going to only vote with Republicans. So independents, tell me what you want to hear. People who are watching the Democrat Party move to socialism, come to me because you know what? I will work with common sense Democrats. I think we'd all love Bill Clinton this day and age, right? I'd vote for him right now compared to like where the Democrat Party is now, right? He's like a Republican at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He did welfare reform. He made compromises. Like he was a statesman despite some of his, questionable personal judgments, but no.
He likes cigars. Big deal.
Who doesn't? But yeah, I think that I'm the right choice. I'm the right person for this moment, and I hope voters can see that. And I want to interact with anyone directly, and I want to have those conversations. A lot of people who disagree with me and have good points, I'm like, let's get coffee. The independent candidate who was running against John Mannion and I was like, let's go. He was criticizing me. I'm like, let's go get coffee. We sat down for 2 hours. We have a lot in common, had a great conversation. I'll do that with anyone who's rational and actually wants to come to the table.
And you have nothing to hide. Like you're an open book, right?
And
literally.
That's the thing.
Ask me, yeah.
I feel like so many people have more in common than they believe.
Absolutely.
They just get so blindsided, like, oh, well, what's your view? Then I don't want to talk to you.
Well, media fucks things up, right? Because it's just skewed. You see what people want you to see.
Yep.
Yeah. Kelly, thank you so much for taking
Thank you for having me.
Last minute, you're like, oh yeah, I'll be there.
This is perfect. Yeah.
We appreciate
thanks,
that.
Dennis, for showing up. Yeah.
Dennis, thanks for popping in.
Oh, sorry for crashing. I didn't.
No, that's okay.
He's like, where's she at? She's supposed to stop by for
It's
a
okay.
nightcap.
Yeah, she's going over there after. Supporting local business.
For a nice cap.
Yeah.
Thanks for your beer. That's
of course.
Very good. This was from the UB?
Yeah, UBL. Yeah.
That's our collaboration.
Our
One of those,
Good. I can't say. I can't read. I'm old.
That's okay. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
And so we just want a quick thank you to our sponsors. Bullfinch, thank you for sponsoring this episode with your beer. We appreciate that. Apex Property Management, FM Realty, and Presidium Logistics, thank you for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you to all the listeners. We appreciate you. Go to brewsandbanter.com, buy our merchandise. That's how you can support this podcast. All the money goes right back into the podcast. We're still in negative, so we don't keep anything.
So we also got Drink NY Craft.
Drink NY Craft and Hopped Up Network. Thank you for working with us as well. And do you like dad jokes?
Yeah. Give me one.
Of course she does.
Do you know why you don't play hide and seek with politicians?
Tell me.
Because good ones are hard to find. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for having me.
Bye,
I appreciate
everybody.
the opportunity.
Bye.
Let's clear the air about EVs with Kia.
I used to think going electric meant giving something up. Space, range, the third row. Then I drove the Kia EV9. I work in tech, so another screen doesn't impress me. But this is useful. I use my phone as the key, and the new remote smart parking helps with North Beach spots that look more like dares than spaces. And with over 300 miles of range, I'm not planning my day around charging stations.
Smart where it counts. The Kia EV9 is built for the way the Bay Area moves. Find your EV confidence at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.